Yeah, Srilata, we are beginning now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can remove the screen share. Yeah. Uh,
Please. Yeah.
गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु गोविंद दियो बताए. These are the lines of a great Sufi poet and Sant Kabir, who says that the spiritual teacher or guru is even greater than God. He says that if teacher and God are both in front of me, who will I greet first? He then says, it is only because teacher's teaching that I am able to see God. So he is great. Om Shanti. It is the most auspicious morning of Guru Purnima when we have among us one of the most engaging and impactful gurus of our times who has been inspiring generations through her motivational and spiritual discourses, our most revered Sister Shivani ji from Brahma Kumaris. She is such a world renowned speaker that she needs no introduction, but it is my privilege and share a few words about her and welcome her to our Union Bank Parivar for this event. Sister B.K. Shivani ji is a Raj Yoga meditation teacher, a spiritual guide and mentor to countless number of people. Though we know her only as a teacher in the Brahma Kumari spiritual movement in India, there is much more to her than meets the eye. It may come as a surprise to most of us that Sister Shivani is a gold medalist, postgraduate in electronics engineering, and also has a master's degree in computer engineering. Her initiation into the spiritual realm began at a very early age, and she went on to work backstage for the Brahma Kumaris in 2007, which led her the television series Awakening with Brahma Kumaris, which was adapted into a 2015 book Happiness Unlimited, Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Sister Shani travels widely bringing her message of peace, love, and holistic living wherever she goes, and her teachings can be followed on her YouTube channel BK Shivani as well as her own app. Shivani ji has been named as a Goodwill Ambassador of the World Psychiatric Association in 2017. She has received the Women of the Decade Achievers Award by ASSOCHAM Ladies League in 2014 and Nari Shakti Award in 2018. We are privileged to have this enlightened soul among us today, and most humbly, I, Dr. Chetna Pandey, DGMHR from Union Bank of India, request all of you to join me in welcoming her to our Union Parivar. Shivani ji, you are connected to our employees and families and also our customers who are very much eager to listen to you. I request you to please let us benefit from your words of wisdom. Welcome, Didi.
Om Shanti. And thank you so much. It's a beautiful energy when everyone comes together. Collective vibrations always have an impact on every mind. And as it influences every mind, it radiates into the environment. We all know that more than 18 months have passed, and many of us have gone through ups and downs in this last 1 year. One is the ups and downs in terms of situations, what happens outside in the outer world. Maybe someone around you went through the illness. Maybe you experienced it. So there's a lot that happened in the last 1.5 years. We all know of what happened outside, but we also need to check how is the inside, how is the state of my mind, and thereby how's the health of my body. The last 1 year we have all been concerned about the immunity of the body, but we know that in spite of the best diet and the best yoga and exercise regime, if the mind is not calm and stable, If the mind is not powerful and positive always, then we are not radiating good energy to the body. So always visualize one scene, that here is the mind, the energy center, and from here, every thought we create, every feeling we have, every word we speak also, everything is an energy. And from here, that energy radiates to the body. So I need to be careful that what my mind is actually what is radiating to my body. And the energy that radiates to my body influences every cell, every organ of the body, and thereby influences the health of the body. And that's why often we find people saying, but I am leading a very healthy lifestyle. I'm a strict vegetarian. I've never smoked. I've never drank. And I exercise every day. Then why did this happen to me? So there's always this question that I have a perfect lifestyle. Then why did this happen to me? Because when we look at lifestyle, we look at all these elements only, which means our diet, our exercise, our sleep. But there's one more element of lifestyle, and that is how we think. How we think, how we feel is also lifestyle, because life is the energy here. When this life leaves, then this is just a body. So this is the life, it's here. So what's the style of this life? The style of thinking, the style of forgiving people, or the style of holding back things and saying, I cannot forgive. The style of understanding, okay, it was their mood and they said this, or the style of, why did they say this to me? How can anyone say this to me? They hurt me. So what is the style? Which means, what are my emotional patterns of thinking? So that lifestyle has a deep impact on the health of the body. So when we say wellness, it's not just obviously physical wellness, but it is also with emotional wellness. And in the coming times and in the current times, emotional wellness has become even more important, because it is our emotional health which has an impact on our mental health. So this last 1 year saw a huge rise in mental health issues. You also may have experienced people around you who were experiencing anxiety. I'm scared. Even now, I feel there are a lot of people who are supposed to go out for work or something like that, but they're very scared to go out of the house. There is that kind of anxiety. What if this happens to me? What if it, because they haven't gone out for very long. So there is a lot of rise in mental health issues in the last 1 year, and we could have someone around us going through it. So it's very important to take care of our emotional health, so that we or anyone around us in family never goes towards a mental health issue. So which means an anxiety disorder or a depression, should never ever go there. It will happen if we take care of our emotional health. So what is emotional health? The way we think, feel, and respond to situations. So just check yourself 10 seconds and grade your emotional health. So I'll give you a criteria how you will grade your emotional health, and you have to rank yourself. You're not going to tell your score to anybody, but you need to know where you stand on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, emotional health not very good, and 10, emotional health perfect. And now ranking between 1 and 2 is how are we going to do it? Whenever there is a situation, whenever there is a person's behavior which is not my way, which means I don't agree. I don't agree with how they have behaved or how they're working, or I don't like the situation. So when anything happens outside, which is not the way I wanted it to be, how do I respond to the situation? So just check. How do I respond to the situation? Do I react, get angry, get stressed, get worried, get hurt, get competitive, jealous? If I'm creating any of the emotions which are not very healthy, because these are negative emotions, and I'm saying, but it is natural to feel like this because they are like that, because the world is like this, then I'm only reacting to situation. This is my emotional health is a little weak. And emotional health perfect 10 would be where whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the person's behavior, I respond out of my original nature. of calm, stability, understanding, compassion, respect. Respect. They might not speak very rightly, but my nature is respect, so I will respond with respect. So then we are not reacting to what they have said or done, we are responding out of our own nature. Now, being in the service industry, where you have to deal with so many people every single day, and all kinds of people, all kinds of temperament, all kinds of emotions, all kinds of behaviors. And sometimes people believe they have a right to come and behave anyhow, which they like. Yeah. And when they behave that way, do I react? Many of you might not be reacting because you know that they are your client. So you should not be reacting. But sometimes we don't react outside. So we don't react on in the front. But in our mind, we are very hurt. We are very upset. And this is always the toughest challenge for a service industry because internally we keep creating a lot of pain and unrest and stress. But outwardly, we never say anything because we know we are here to serve. They are our client. And so we keep quiet, we smile, we try and adjust, accommodate, accept, but internally it's like suppressing inside. So it's more like a pressure cooker syndrome where it just keeps on suppressing inside. But this inside suppression, not very good for us. Not very good for us. It's like a cupboard. Keep on stuffing it inside, keep on stuffing it inside. Outside the house looks very clean. But if somebody just touches the cupboard and opens it, everything will come falling outside. So that suppressing inside is not a very good habit. Of course, we cannot react outwardly, but second step, we will not react inside also. We understand that people are going through different emotional levels. Now, when the lockdown is over and people must have started coming to the bank more often and in more numbers, you are going to find for many people the behavior may be even different than last year. Last year meaning before COVID, because a lot has changed in this 1 year. And even people are not aware that they have changed. Many have gone through fear, many have gone through anxiety, many have lost a family member. They're very low, they are not happy, they are sad. And then, if something is not their way, you can find them reacting. You will find them shouting because they have dipped in their emotional health in this last 1.5 years. Almost everyone coming to you would have dipped in their emotional health. Somebody less, somebody more, but they have dipped. Imagine somebody has lost someone in the family. Their house energy is not right yet. They're not being able to manage things. They're not being, now they don't have money and then they come to the bank and then they ask for something. And if they don't get it immediately, they can just react. But we don't know, right, what has happened in their family. We don't know that they are in pain. And if they come and they react like this, and if we feel bad about it, and if we say something, then we are adding pain to somebody who's already going through pain. So we have to be very careful, very careful. Like COVID is a time where we take care of each other physically. We understand they are not well, so we're all there to take care of them. Putting aside our own health, we've taken care of people. COVID is also a time to take care of people emotionally. To understand, yes, they are in pain. Doesn't matter. Something must have happened at home which is not right. I am fine now. I will be nice to them. I will be respectful. So each one of you who is there to serve, it is seva bhav. Yeah, to service industry means to serve. It means seva. Seva doesn't mean only by what we do. Seva is by who we are. So if you are taking care of your mind on a daily basis and you are calm and stable, and if you are respectful to someone who's very rude, you've just done seva. That is seva. That is a very big seva. You might not be able to help them in what they wanted. Sometimes certain things are not possible. But if you were nice to them, calm to them, kind to them, you have given power to them. You have given power to them. So they were in pain and their work also did not get done. Maybe their loan did not get sanctioned, but you were nice to them. You were very kind to them, but they were not very nice to you. But still, you were nice to them. So it is like healing somebody who's emotionally unwell. So, like for COVID, we put our health at risk and went out to serve the country. Similarly, for COVID, let's put our ego aside. It is our ego which says, why did they talk to me? Why should I be nice to them? They were not nice to me. This is all our ego. We have to put it aside and we have to tell ourselves it's COVID time. People have gone through a lot of emotional pain. There are people who've lost 2 family members. There are people who've lost 3 family members. What are we expecting from them? That they're going to come to us in a very happy mood? How can they be happy? How can they be happy? So I need to be caring. So we will put aside our ego and we will only say, I am fine and I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to take care of their mind. And when you are nice and kind to people, even though they were rude and insulting to you, it will not only increases your power, it also gives them a lot of power. And you will get a lot of blessings. You've anyways earned a lot of blessings in the last 1.5 years by always being there to serve the country. But now we need to take care of the mind. It will take a couple of more years for people to settle in their mind. So it's not going to get over very soon because there's no vaccine for this. Now that people are vaccinated, they feel we are safe and we can come out. That is fine. There's no vaccine for what the mind has gone through. So let's start simple steps by which we can start taking care of our mind on a daily basis so that you are emotionally stronger and the energy of the people who come to you to meet you, even if they are in pain or even if they're troubled, their energy should not enter into your energy field. Your happy energy should go into their energy. When 2 people meet, there are 2 different energy fields. It's like an aura, an energy circle. So when 2 people meet, before they talk to each other or they shake hands or anything like that, before 2 people talk, it is their 2 energy fields which connect with each other, for which we say the vibrations, the feeling that I got after meeting that person. So their energy field might not be very happy, but our energy field should be so happy and powerful that our energy field will overpower them. Not that their pain will overpower us. This is also seva. This is very important seva. But for that, we need to start taking care of our mind. And when we take care of our mind, the first person that will benefit will be me. Then it will be my family. And third, it will be all the people who I will work with and all the people who I will interact with on a daily basis. So it's extremely important. First homework to remember that I am the creator of my every thought and feeling. We believe that whatever happens outside creates my thoughts and feelings. So just think of the last time you got angry. It could be this morning, it could be yesterday. So just think of the last time you got angry and you will find your mind saying, Unki wajah se. I'm angry because of them. I'm irritated because of them. I'm happy because of them. So we thought whatever is happening inside is because of people outside. It's not true. What makes this happen is then by doing this, we believe that the remote control of my mind is in people's hands. And we say it's because of them I'm upset today. And then when you upset and you react and you go home in the evening and your family member will say, why are you so upset today? Say because of them. Even there we go and say because of them. They did not behave properly today. People cannot enter inside our mind. People can stand outside, they can be rude, they can be loud, they can be cheating, they can be lying, they can be abusive, but they can be only doing that outside. But I have to remember that cannot get into my mind and create my thoughts and feelings. So the remote control of my mind is in nobody's hands. It's totally in my hand. So the first step to increase the power of your mind, from this moment itself, never blame anybody for how you're feeling. So don't say, because of them, I'm feeling like this. No. I'm feeling like this because of myself. I will change it. So power is with us. Power with us. Power is not with anybody else. That's the first step. Second step, which are the normal, healthy emotions to be created? Very important, what is normal? For the last few decades, we have been creating a lot of unhealthy emotions and we're calling them normal. We call them normal. So we say stress normal, anger normal, worry normal, fear normal. None of these are normal. They are so uncomfortable emotions. How can they be called normal? So none of these are normal. So never call an uncomfortable emotion as normal. Stress is an emotional illness. All these are emotional illness. What is normal? Calm and stability, happiness, respect, gratitude, not complaining. ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है. This is complaining attitude. Gratitude. Shukrana. Shukriya for everything. Complaining nahi, gratitude. Comparison nahi. Never compare yourself with anybody else. Self-respect. This is my values, my principles, this is my capacity, this is my performance. And I will do better. I will do better than this. I will work harder. But I never compare myself to anybody else. Never ever compare yourself to anybody else. You lower your self-respect. Lower our self-respect. If other people do well, if someone gets appreciated or someone gets an award or someone gets a promotion, be happy for them. Always be happy for them. If you be happy for them, your emotional health will get better. And if your emotional health gets better, career will always get better. Career will always get better. But if we feel, why did they get it? I achieved so much last year. I deserved this more. This is not fair. How could this happen? Then we create a lot of disturbance in our mind. And all this radiates to our body also. And all this energy radiates to people around us. And all this also comes out in our work. So we are all on our own journey. Let's work hard on our own journey and we will keep getting. As per our karma, we will keep getting our destiny. And if somebody else has got something, it is definitely due to some karma of theirs. Nobody can get anything like that. Everything that we get is as per our karma. Maybe that karma we don't know, but they will never get anything without their karma. So we need to remember law of karma is working always. So this jealousy, all these are very uncomfortable emotions, illnesses. So always create pure, powerful emotions. They are the healthy emotions. This is emotional disease. This is emotional health. Now, simple lifestyle habits. How to start creating the emotionally healthy feelings and not the uncomfortable ones. Most important, first step we need to remember, for the mind to be healthy and for the body to be healthy, we need very good sleep cycle. Sleep is a very, very important part of wellness, and we all sleep enough, and yet we don't sleep very well. Most of us are sleep deprived. Most of us can fall off to sleep on a flight or in the train or in the bus at any time. Anytime, look around you in the train, in any public transport place, you will see people falling off to sleep. Anytime they can fall off to sleep, even 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, people can sleep as if they are tired at the end of the day. They can sleep. How can people sleep? They have slept in the night and come, but because we don't sleep well. So now check yourself. How well do you sleep? First sign, are you able to wake up in the morning without an alarm? First, are you able to wake up in the morning without an alarm? Second, when the alarm rings or when you wake up, are you energetic and you just get out of bed, or you feel like sleeping a little more, 5 minutes more, 10 minutes more, like children do, no? So 10 minutes more sona hai. So do you feel like sleeping a little more? So which means do you shut off the alarm and then again go to sleep for 10 minutes? Third, when you wake up, are you fresh? Are you energetic? Are you vibrant? Or you literally drag yourself out of bed. Chalo, one more day, get ready, cook, go to the bank. So, what is your mood? First thing in the morning. And fourth is, do you just go off to sleep any time in the day when you have nothing to do? I mean, when you're in the transport or when you're doing nothing, and can you fall off to sleep? All these are signs that we don't sleep very well. So we need to take simple steps of sleeping deeply. So most important, you're very fortunate that you are in a profession where your night is safe. You don't have to do anything in late evening or late night. So make it a point to have a very disciplined sleep cycle. So a best time to go to sleep is latest. The latest we should go to sleep is by 10. So between 9:30 10 you should be ready to go to sleep. By 10 it is the latest that we should go to sleep. 10 to 2 is the highest energizing time. Highest energizing time is 10 to 2. In 10 to 2 if we are asleep, then the best healing of the mind, the best healing of all the organs of the body starts happening. Doesn't mean we have to get up at 2, but 10 to 2 we should be asleep. So we should be asleep by 10. Now, if to go to sleep by 10, by 8, 8:30, we should disconnect from work communication. We need to disconnect if your work role is that way, depending on your timing of your job. By 8, 8:30, we should disconnect from work communication. What happens since the time we have phones and laptops, we keep working till we go to sleep, which means we keep checking our emails, we keep checking our messages, we keep talking to people. Now, by doing this, what happens? The work is on our mind. Now, if the work is on my mind till 10 o'clock and then I go to sleep, then only my body sleeps, because I gave my mind work just before sleeping. So in that era, 20, 30 years back, which is not history, we've all seen that timing when we did not have phones and internet. So when our parents came home, they were at home. Nobody could call them up, nobody could email them, nobody could message them. So from 8 o'clock in the evening to 8 o'clock next morning, they were at home here. The mind was at home. It was not at work. 12 hours every single day without work. When was the last time we were 12 hours without work? Ask yourself, 12 hours flat without work. Every single day, 12 hours. Then Sunday, 24 hours without work. Then Diwali, festival, holiday. See how the year was spaced out. The year was spaced out like that so that the mind and the body got rest. And because the holidays, the weekends, and the night and everything was spaced out properly for our mind and body to get good rest, so there was no depression 30 years back. We hardly heard of it. It was like something which happened very rarely to the elderly. Depression was something that happened to the elderly, and that to very few numbers. Today we have children, school children having depression. Why? Because since the time we have all these technology toys, we never have rest. We are not resting. The mind is not resting. It is constantly doing this. Whether it is work communication, acha, if there is no work, then surfing, scrolling, videos, social media, which is going doing this. This is the biggest cause of all this tiredness here. And this tiredness here is then creating that stress, anger, irritation. When we don't sleep well, next morning we can be very irritable. Most of our irritation and anger is not actually our nature. It is because we are a tired mind, because we're not sleeping well. So by 8 o'clock, we should disconnect from work communication. We will go to work communication morning time, not night time. Then we should have an early dinner. Very important. When we sleep, in our sleep, two things happen: digestion and healing. If we have late dinners and very heavy dinner, then our digestion happens during sleep. If digestion happens during sleep, healing doesn't happen. So that's why nowadays doctors keep saying 7 hours go to sleep, 8 hours sleep. Sometimes they'll say 9 hours sleep. Who sleeps for so many hours? We don't need to sleep for so many hours. Our parents have never slept for so many hours. Grandparents though not at all slept for so many hours. So why is every next generation sleeping longer? Only because of our lifestyle. Only because of our lifestyle. If we disconnect from work and content consumption an hour, 2 hours before we sleep, we will get very deep sleep. Because the last thing that goes on to our mind, no, what we watch, what we read, what we listen, the last things which go on the mind, then they are what are going on in the mind during sleeping. So one is the food and one is the information we consume. So experiment with this. Have an early dinner. Have an early dinner and a lighter dinner. Have a lighter dinner. If you have a very heavy dinner, it will take many hours to digest. And the longer it takes to digest, the lesser time you get for healing. So please remember, I have 6-7 hours of sleep, which I need to use for healing. I'm not going to give that time for digestion. So if I have to sleep by 10 and I finish my dinner by 7:30, my digestion of food will be over. It will be over before I go to sleep, and during my sleep only healing will happen. So early light dinner. Disconnect from work communication by 8 o'clock. By 8:39, disconnect from all other content consumption. TV serials, movies, social media, content consumption, everything latest by 9 o'clock, we need to disconnect. Disconnect. Many of us are scrolling in bed just before we're going to sleep. So we have to be very careful. Disconnect at least an hour before from our content consumption. We cannot have content of anger, violence, terror, comparison, jealousy, stress, ego in the night here, because otherwise that's the energy during the sleep. And that is the vibration which radiates to the body also. That content quality, that energy radiates to the body during our sleep. It was meant for healing. Sleep was meant for healing. So be very careful. Don't consume all this content 1 hour before you go to sleep. Very careful. If you're going to consume serials in which houses are breaking, families are fighting, then it will start becoming a part of our personality. So be very careful. Now, last hour before you sleep, keep it very light, which means you're listening to some good music, reading some good book, spending happy time with family, no problem discussion or argument before going to sleep. No problem discussion, nothing negative before we go to sleep. Now, 20 minutes before you sleep, keep it for yourself. That 20 minutes you need to keep for yourself. 5 minutes, write a little diary. What do we write in the diary? We release whatever is on our mind of what has happened during the day. So if something did not happen right, if someone did not behave well, or I did not behave well with somebody, write your sorry in your diary. Don't write the whole scene, they did this. We don't have to write all that. Just say, I apologize to this person. Write it out. It will come out. If someone else was not right, it's okay. Maybe they were in a bad mood. I forgive. I forgive. If your mind is troubled about something, never mind. We'll think about this tomorrow. So basically, you shut all your files here and you release all these emotions before you go to sleep. Very important. 5 minutes. 10 minutes, watch, read, or listen to something which is very positive, very pure and positive. We need to remember what we watch, read, listen is our emotional diet. So for emotional health, we need a good emotional diet. So what we watch, read, listen is emotional diet because that is what creates our thoughts and feelings. So again, going back 30 years back, no phone, no TV, no internet, no social media, emotional diet was automatically much better than what it is today, way better. And so there were no mental health issues. Now even children are consuming so much content. So if you are a little strict about the emotional diet that you are consuming, you will be able to be a little strict with your children also. Need to be a little strict with them as far as emotional diet is concerned. What they watch, what they read, what they listen, they need to be careful because that is what we are becoming. So 10 minutes before we sleep, we consume very positive content. So watch, read, or listen very positive content for 10 minutes. Because what will be the last layer of information on the mind? That is what will process through the mind and the body in the next 6-7 hours. So 5 minutes writing the diary, 10 minutes watching, reading, or listening to something very positive. If you have more time, listen for at least 30 minutes, but at least 10 minutes. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, meditate, silence your mind, surrender everything to God just before sleeping. If you have not learned how to meditate, we will create some few positive thoughts right now. You can note them down. It's very important because the last thought before we sleep is very important. Very, very important. The last thought before we sleep. So never have any negative or ordinary thought before we sleep. Sankalp se siddhi, which means our thoughts manifest. Whatever we think just before we sleep, or we think when we get up in the morning, and we do that daily, it will manifest, which means it will become a reality. It will become a part of our destiny. So be very careful of your last thought before you sleep and your first thought when you wake up in the morning. So let's create a few thoughts right now, which will make us emotionally stronger. First thought, I am a powerful being. I am a powerful being. Powerful being means I don't get affected by people and situations. I am powerful. I am a powerful being. Second, I am calm and stable always. I am calm and stable always. Third, I am fearless. I am fearless. I am confident. I am fearless. Fourth, I am a giver. Seva bhav. I am a giver, which means I don't have any expectations from how people behave around me, what they do. I am a giver, seva. So I am a powerful being. I am calm and stable, or I'm happy always. I am fearless, and I am a giver. 4. Fifth thought, my body is perfect and healthy and will always be. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. If you have any ailment, you can write that as one more affirmation. My blood pressure is normal if you don't have normal blood pressure. If you have diabetes, you say my sugar levels are normal. So what are we doing? We are writing an affirmation of what we want to be our reality, even though it's not a reality today. So I may be very stressed, but my affirmation will be I'm calm and stable. I may have fear, but my affirmation will be I am fearless. I may be having an ailment, but my affirmation will be my body is perfect and healthy. My blood pressure is normal. So one affirmation is my body is perfect and healthy. And second will be if you have any ailment, then you put for that. Why are we putting this affirmation? My body is perfect and healthy because sometimes we create a thought. I have to meet so many people during the day. COVID is still there in the air. So what if this happens to me? So we don't want to create that thought. What if this happens to me? So we create a thought. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. Then a very, very important affirmation for everyone, and especially for all of you. God's power and blessings is a divine circle of protection around me. Visualize a white divine energy circle around you. So when you envelop yourself with a divine energy circle every single day, anyone's low vibrational energy cannot enter into this, which means somebody's anger, somebody's insult, somebody's hurt, nothing can enter into this. It's like the PPE kit. So virus cannot enter into it. Similarly, this divine energy circle kit, negative energy cannot enter into this. So God's power and blessings is a divine circle of protection around me. Then draw the same circle of protection around your family. Visualize my family. We are all safe. We are secure. We have to say this every day. We are safe. We are secure. Then draw the same divine circle of protection around your bank. Very important to bless your workplace every single day. Everything is perfect. Everything is smooth. And everyone is fine. Very important to create that good energy for our office, for our organization, for the bank. So in this, you can add whatever affirmations you would like, what you want to make your reality. You can put an affirmation for your work. I have achieved whatever, fill in the blank, which means what you want to achieve, you put it in your affirmation, I have already achieved. Success is certain for me. So keep putting any affirmation which you want should become your reality. So I am powerful, I'm happy, I'm fearless, I'm a giver, my body is perfect, healthy, divine circle of protection around me, and divine circle of protection around my family and around my workplace. Now, just before going to sleep, just say these very slowly, gently, say these 8-10 thoughts. So what are we doing? We are sowing the seed of a very powerful positive thought just before we are going to sleep. The thoughts we create just before we go to sleep start becoming a reality in our life. So take care, carefully. So just say these thoughts, close your eyes, keep saying them, and you will fall off to sleep with these positive thoughts. Then first thing when you wake up in the morning, वैसे तो you should learn meditation, but till you learn it, first thing in the morning, say these thoughts at least 3 times. At least 3 times when you wake up. Get up in the morning, sit, I'm a powerful being. See yourself throughout the day, stable with everybody, responding with dignity, not getting affected by people's behavior. So you're visualizing also that. So say those thoughts 3 times in the morning and visualize that. Then at least 20 minutes in the morning to consume a healthy emotional diet. Same like 10 minutes in the night. At least 20 minutes in the morning. This is spiritual content. That's why spirituality is very important, because spirituality gives us healthy emotional diet, pure content, powerful content for the mind. So at least 20 minutes in the morning. So 5 minutes affirmation, 20 minutes of this. And when you learn meditation, then you do 15-20 minutes of meditation. Then of course our exercise or our walk or yoga, pranayam. So basically 20-25 minutes for the mind and 30 minutes for the body. We should have at least an hour for ourselves. And we cannot say to ourselves, I don't have time. That is cheating. That is cheating for ourselves, because the last year has shown us that mind and body health is a priority. is a priority. And we sometimes feel we don't have time, but once you start energizing your mind and body on a daily basis, you will have a lot of time during the day. You will start having extra time. We are feeling we don't have time because we are tired. So the mind feels very tired and it takes longer to do everything. So don't think I don't have time. And when you lead a lifestyle like this, you will need lesser sleep and you will be having very deep sleep. You will automatically wake up early. If you go to sleep by 10, you will automatically wake up by 4:35. If you've eaten an early dinner and you've had positive content before sleeping, you will automatically wake up at 4:35 and nobody needs more sleep than that. If they're leading a right lifestyle, we don't need more sleep than that. We don't need more sleep between 6 and a half, maximum 7 hours. But only if we sleep right. If we sleep right. So then morning practice this, the 20 minutes of pure positive content. It's like nourishment that will keep you very calm and stable during the day. Now during the day, taking care. People, situations their way, I am responding with my own sanskar, with my nature, with dignity. And I've energized myself in the morning and in the night. So doing that will become very simple. Then last thing is take care of what you eat, your diet. Experiment with a vegetarian diet, with a plant-based diet. An animal-based diet has a vibration which has pain. Animal in a slaughterhouse. So many of us during COVID in lockdown, of course, you were still working, but a lot of people during lockdown have started experiencing anxiety and stress. Now, they were in lockdown, but they knew they were safe and still created anxiety and stress. Imagine the animal in the slaughterhouse. That animal knows that they are not safe. They know that they are going to be killed. What's going to be the energy? What's going to be the vibration? So there's anger, hurt, pain, fear, helplessness, then violence, then death. Write all these words down and then think about it. Is this the energy of the food I want to eat? Is the death of one is going to give me health, I thought? How is it possible? It's an energy of death. It can give proteins and minerals and vitamins, but it can't give health. It can just give those proteins and vitamins. So we need to take care. And now even doctors are telling us plant-based diet is healthy. So there's been a huge shift from what we used to hear earlier. And we used to say, doctor ne bola hai non-veg khana chahiye. But now the doctor is not saying anything of that sort because a lot of cardiac issues, a lot of some of the cancers and hypertension, a lot to do with the animal-based diet. So experiment with a plant-based diet and the food should be cooked in a very high energy environment. Very important. So the environment of your kitchen should be very powerful and very pure, like a temple, like a gurdwara, like a masjid, like a church. It has to be very divine. So where all those high energy words should go into the food. So then that food doesn't remain food. It becomes like prasad. It's like prasad. So in your kitchen, have high energy words playing. Anything, whatever you like. Spiritual songs, chants, mantra, bhajan, whatever you like. But play high energy words in the kitchen. Positive talks, any good positive words should go into the food. The energy of the food will change. There is a lot of energy in food. Food is not just nutrition. Food is energy. And the energy of the food cooked in the house can change the minds of the family. It can change the minds of the family. So experiment with this, that let the food be cooked in a very peaceful, positive environment. And last, eaten in a very peaceful way. So peaceful vibration food that is vegetarian, cooked in a peaceful way and eaten in a peaceful way. So which means no phone and TV while eating. Take a lot of care. No phone and TV while eating, otherwise all that content goes into the food. And no discussing work. Like for you, your lunch will be in the bank. So normally we have lunch with our colleagues, right? And unknowingly we start talking about work while eating. It's a 10-15 minute break. You've taken a break. You've taken a time out to eat. Don't think and talk about work while eating because then all your vibrations of work will go into the food. No, food is energy, nourishment for the mind and body. So let's not talk about work while eating. Let's energize our food. Then we will do extra work after that. if eaten the food properly. So don't talk about work while eating. Just before eating, pause for 3 seconds. Just pause for 3 seconds. Gratitude to the Supreme Power. And then say those 10 affirmations into the food. Let your because high energy words should go into the food. So if you have something very high energy separately, you put that. Otherwise, just put those 10 affirmations. I am a powerful being. I am calm and stable. I am fearless. I'm healthy. Put those 10 thoughts into the food. It doesn't take more than 3 seconds. Doesn't take more than 3 seconds. And your food will get energized with that vibration. You want to make it a reality faster? Put it in your every glass of water. Put in your every glass of water. Like we don't forget to wash our hands before eating, na? Do we say, oh my God, what a time waste, now you have to wash your hand every time before eating? We don't say that. We know that if we don't wash our hand, we'll consume an infection. Similarly, we never eat without changing the energy of the food. Otherwise, we will consume the infection of where all the food is coming from. What was the state of mind of the people who grew that vegetable, who brought it to the market, who cooked that food, and I'm consuming it. So never ever, 3 seconds before your every meal, 3 seconds before your glass of water, and 3 seconds if you drink tea or coffee. Take that pause. That 3-second investment gives long, big return. Bigger than what you could ever imagine. That 3-second investment. So 5 minutes in the morning affirmation, 2 minutes in the night just before going to sleep, 3 seconds before every meal, 3 seconds before every glass of water, and content restriction. During the day, be very careful of what you're consuming from forwarded messages, from social media. Don't consume what you don't want to become. Take care. Very simple steps. Anybody can do it. You can do it right from today. Your children can start doing it. And when you do such simple things, your emotional health will start going towards 10. And you and your family and people around you will never touch towards a mental health issue. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi. So we have with us our CGM HR, Sri Kalyan Kumar sir, who has been instrumental in driving all these wellness initiatives as being the head of human resource. So I would invite our sir to just seek some advice from you.
Yeah, thank you, Didi, for being with us. Nothing could have been the better way of celebrating our HR week. Really, you have blessed us, and that too on the auspicious day of Guru Purnima. My heartfelt thanks to you for being with us today. And you have enlightened us with all the practical tips and steps which we should implement. And I will admit before you that we bankers are really the greatest sufferers of this emotional health and also all these kind of problems which you have suggested us. And your tips are really going to be very helpful for each one of us. So really, again and again, my heartfelt thanks to you. And really, now I understood that we are great admirer of you. Our family members and everyone admire you like anything. They hear always your recorded audio and also on YouTube and everything. Our team, because everyone gets inspiration from your speech and all. That is very useful for all of us. So I will. When you started your speech, I was having number of questions, multiple questions in mind. But at present, I am not having any question to ask you because you have answered very means you have captured all these things. This is also divine grace. I understand. You understood the mood and requirement of the audience. That is great thing with you. May God bless all of us. Simple one practical tip, if you can help us in organization. Actually, some certain time we have to convey our displeasure about, because we have to drive the things and also we have to align with the corporate objective. For that, sometime we have to express our displeasure to the employee. Sometimes afterwards we feel that we should not there should have been better way, there could have been better way of conveying displeasure. Here, if you can provide us any tips which will certainly help us in improving ourselves in communicating with our employees and all. But this question I am just, yeah.
if we already know what we want to convey, it's not a reaction, but it's something you already know that you have to say this to somebody today. It has to be very well thought of beforehand. And most important is before you tell them what is not right, it's always better to first talk about everything that is right, which means the goodness in that person, the qualities of that individual, the right things which they do. It's very important because nobody is all black. There's a lot of white in everybody. And then there could be some things which are not going right now. But it's very important to first focus on everything that is right. So at least talk a little bit or discuss a little bit about all the right things. And then the thing which needs to be corrected can be given very gently in one or two lines. So it's actually the whole conversation should be first focusing on strengthening the person. It's like look at how some doctors are so very good at giving an injection, especially pediatricians. How would they give an injection to a child? It is such a painful thing to give an injection to a child, but they will talk to that child. They will be so sweet to the child. They will be kind. They will play. And suddenly they will give an injection and the child will not even come to know because the child was in a very happy mood while talking to that doctor. So similarly, we are also going to give an injection right now because we're going to say something which may not be a very happy thing to say. But we have to focus first on all the good things about that person, all the right things, of all the right things that they have done, and then say those things which are not very beautiful.
Thank you.
Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. As Sir has pointed out, our average age of Unionites has been around 35 to 38. So which means more youngsters, so more of energy. So there are some questions which some of my young colleagues have asked. I think you have answered, but they want to listen again. At the office, there are so many pressures to handle. Many times unexpected things come up and we have to deal with it. Can you give us a few tips or tell us how to stay calm in those unexpected situation and prevent a panic attack or do the best in that situation?
First and foremost, always remember the equation for stress. Stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. Stress is not equal to pressure. Stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience, right? So pressure is the situation. Pressure is that sudden thing that has come at work. Pressure could be a behavior of a person. That is pressure. Resilience, my inner power. Now, what we have been doing is we are facing pressures, but we're not doing anything on a daily basis to build up that denominator of inner resilience. So obviously then when at that time, when the situation comes, pressure is high, resilience is low because we're not doing anything to build up with it. But these simple lifestyle habits that we've discussed today, if we build up our denominator on a daily basis, the simple lifestyle habits actually builds up the denominator. What was COVID? COVID was also a pressure, right? But where inner resilience was low. So panic attacks, anxiety, stress, all that happened. Stress is not equal to pressure. So when you get a target or when you suddenly have some new thing to do and you have to finish it in a very short time, we immediately create stress. And we say कैसे होगा, क्या होगा, क्यों होगा, अभी बोलते इतनी जल्दी चाहिए, ऐसे भी होता है क्या, I have decided to do this, now I will be sitting here. So our mind starts creating so many negative thoughts that that denominator starts dipping down. So we have to take care. This assignment or this task has come to me. I have to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. This is certain. And let me begin that assignment on a very positive note. We actually begin it on a very negative note. We begin it on like it's difficult, such a little time, and I have to finish this. This is not fair. Why all this comes to me? Why isn't the other person given? So we begin the task on a lot of negative thoughts. And then the energy which we put in the task, no, is not the best energy. And then it takes longer to do that task. Then it always will take longer to accomplish that task because the mind is not a happy mind at that time. It's not a happy mind. Abhi, at that time, if somebody had to come and tell you, come, let's go for a picnic, that time we are not tired because our mind is very happy to do that. So it's very important for the mind to be happy about what task has come at hand. So maybe I had planned something else and suddenly this has come to me, but it's my responsibility. I am going to do it. Now, important is create the right thought before doing it. Don't grumble in your mind while you're doing it. Sometimes we're grumbling in the mind, we're also grumbling in the words. We're talking to people around us. Itna kaam hai, we're getting late, and yet we talk to people about it. Like, dekho na, kaise diya, kya. This energy depletes, and this depletes the resilience, the denominator. So one thought, I have been assigned this task, and I'm going to do it. It is certain. And I am certain that I will finish it before time. I am certain I will finish this before time. Full stop to all negative thoughts. I am certain I will do this accurately and before time. Give this blessing to your work and now start. You will 100% finish it before time because you have kept your mind calm and stable. No clutter, noise, no talking to people around you about it. Now your colleagues could say, how can you finish this? They've given this to you at 5 o'clock. It's okay. Don't worry, I'm going to finish it very soon. Don't worry about me. I'm going to finish it. And just seclude yourself from all this negative energy around you, inside you, and you see, you will finish it faster. So the mind accepting the situation is very important. We resist the situation. We are not happy with the situation. Then it takes longer, and most important, it depletes my emotional health. I need to remember, I still have to do my work, but it depletes my emotional health. Third thing, please remember, our workplace gives us the money which sustains our house. If I grumble about the work that I am doing, I'm actually radiating that energy of grumble into the money that's coming into my house. Every day we need to say in the morning, what a fortune that I have a safe, secure job. It's a fortune at this time to have a safe, secure job. You should count yourself very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. There is a huge number of people whose jobs have got affected in this last year. So we can never, ever, ever complain or grumble. We never, ever should. Because jaisa dhan hai, what is the quality of the money I earn? It gets influenced by my state of mind. So always grateful for your work, grateful for the people at work, great gratitude, radiate a lot of gratitude to your work. Then the money that will come into your house, that will come with a lot of blessings. If you grumble at work, complain at work, even in your mind, then the same energy will come in the money that you earn. And that money is used to feed your children. That money is used to educate your children. You don't want to feed and educate them with energy which is of grumbling. Then they will also create a nature of grumbling. However hard you work for them, however hard you do everything for them, they will say, this is not enough. This is not enough. You have not done this properly. They will not have gratitude for you as a parent. Why? Because you did not bring the money home with gratitude. It's very important what is the vibration of the money that comes into the house. There are four energies. Dhan, that's money. Ann, that's food, will influence the man. That's mind, will influence the body. Tan. So धन से अन्न खरीदा जाएगा, अन्न का असर मन पर होगा, जैसा अन्न वैसा मन, और जैसा मन वैसा तन. So the wellness is first starting with money. It's starting with money. So it's not about how much money, it's about what's the energy of the money that I'm earning. So I have to be really grateful for my work and everything that I get to do at work, and then bring that money home with blessings.
Thank you, Didi. So nicely you have explained. So we are getting many questions, but looking at the timings, we will try to conclude with a final question, which most of my employees actually have asked. That in a bank, actually, many a times people fall prey to very low self-esteem. Reason being, some people get successful either in promotions or in achievements of their goals and targets, while others do not. In that circumstances, they fail to have a attitude of gratitude because they feel that they had done the best, but they didn't get the result. So what is wrong with me? And automatically that leads to frustration and low self-esteem. So one of the employees have asked that how to feel good about myself, how to improve my sense of self-worth, self-esteem, and self-respect when I fail in certain areas or circumstances which I am not supposed to be.
Beautiful. A very important thing which we need to be very clear of is what is the definition of success? What is the definition of success? A little mistake which we have created as a society for the last few years. The more we achieve, we are called successful. So success has all become about what I achieve. It starts from school, how many marks I got, what did I do in sports, what did I do in dramatics. It's all a very performance-based society. So if you look everywhere, it's a very, very performance-based society. So whoever performs is called successful. Who will come on business magazines, who will be coming in award shows, only successful. Who we are as people, it doesn't make a difference to anybody nowadays. So there are two things. One is I, the person, and second is my performance, right? Now, I could perform, I could achieve, I could have earned more. Yes, definitely. But what does all the money that I earn bring to me? It brings everything in my house that money can buy, right? Now, look at last year. People had all the money they wanted. And we have seen people bringing like loads of money into a hospital and saying, take all the money I have, but please heal my family member. But all the money in the world could not save that family member. So does money really have that much power? Does money really have that much power? We need to understand. We thought money and position and role became the most important thing in our life. No, it doesn't have that much power. One thing we need to remember, performance is important, but performance is only one part of our life. Your self-worth is not based on your performance. Definitely not. Your self-worth is based on who you are as a person. Who you are as a person. What are your sanskars? What is your nature? What are your values? What are your principles? How ethical you are? How caring you are to people? How compassionate? Who you are as a person decides your value, not how much you achieve. It is very easy to achieve more without being value based, without being ethical, without being caring. I can be very stressed, very unhealthy. I could have not very happy relationships at home, but I could be number one in what I'm doing. So, am I going to call myself successful? No. So, work very hard, achieve a lot. Please remember that is not what decides how successful you are. Even though people around you might say, yes, 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 only that person is successful. Haven't we seen in the last few years so many people who thought we are very successful, they are very successful, they were like, and then we come to know they're doing all sorts of things in their life. They're doing all sorts of things in their life. It was our mistake that we idolize them and we keep them up there just because they are achievers. So achievement is only one part of life. Achievement is only one part of life, but that does not decide the value of a person. And if you just go 30, 40 years back, we were not a performance-based society. We were a person-based society, which means sanskar. Sanskar of a child, संस्कार ऑफ एन इंडिविजुअल, नॉट कि आपका रोल क्या है, आपकी सैलरी कितनी है, आपका पोजीशन कितना है. Nobody used to even ask each other that. They were not even interested. Like who you are as a person is important. So your value, your worth is not based on your promotions. Of course, that is important. Work hard and achieve that. But it may go through its ups and downs. Kabhi it's happening your way. Sometimes it's not happening your way. But if you dip here, then you have reduced your self-worth. So your self-worth doesn't change by your career graph, but it changes by your happiness index, by your values and principles. And most important, when someone else gets that promotion which you feel you should have got, be happy for them. That increases your self-worth to another level altogether. If you are able to bless people who got something, who achieved something in their life, even though you are more valuable than anybody else around you, because very few people are able to do that nowadays. Very, very few people are able to be happy for other people who are doing well. They say, नहीं, jealousy तो normal है, बुरा तो लगना ही था, इनको कैसे मिल गया हमारे से ज्यादा. कितने छोटे हो जाते हैं हम इतने छोटे हो जाते हैं कि किसी को कुछ मिल गया तो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगता. Imagine not being able to be happy when someone does well. What values do I have? With not being happy means actually I'm sad that why did they do well? क्या मेरी नेचर हो गई है कि दूसरों की खुशी को देखकर मुझे दुख होता है. ये तो वैल्यू मेरी बहुत नीचे चली जाती है. Why? Because everybody thought that person is successful and I am not successful. ये लोगों की सोच है, लोगों की सोच है। मुझे मेरी सोच क्लियर रखनी है. I have to be happy, healthy, value-based, ethical, very beautiful relationships, and achiever. And then whatever I'm achieving at my pace, it's excellent. And keep moving forward. And most important, don't compare with other people. We're all on a different journey. We're all on a different journey. Let's take care of our karma. Our destiny walks hand in hand with us.
Thank you, Didi, for answering such a question which actually hurts many people, and most importantly, they might have listened. And we are taking a lot of takeaways from today's session, which is actually hitting the nail at the right time as well as at the right point. So some of the important things which you mentioned by trying to respond and not to react in this current pandemic situation. Everyone has overcome unintentional stress or fear, which we may not be aware of. Providing emotional diet with simple practices for mental health. And lastly, most importantly, the types of different affirmation which you have given to take throughout our day definitely is going to make the lives of all the Unionites as well as all our family members, colleagues, customers, everyone reach the goal of mental wellness, which is the need of the hour. So we from Union Bank of India family, again, thank you sincerely for joining us, being a part of this wellness journey for our employees as well as their family members, customers, and making this event a very great success. We will be reaching out to all the other employees who could not join this call by giving all these inputs which you have shared with us. And we'll be looking forward to you for much more enlightening sessions like this.
Thank you so much.
So thanks a lot, Nidhi.
Thank you so much.
Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you.